Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to be updating you guys on the mid-November 2022 PVE World Exploration tier list. I am going to be dividing it up a little bit differently this time compared to my last one and cutting off into sections where it's going to be first to get, SSS, A, B, C, and don't use. And before I get started, I do want to let you guys know once again that this is going to be based on my opinion as well as my experience within the game. So let's get started right away. First to get is going to be with the mileage points. So if you guys don't have any of these cookies after doing so much gacha, right? After doing 100 pulls, after doing 200 pulls, and you still don't have these cookies and you're still in the early stages or even in the late stages, you guys should definitely be investing in these cookies through the mileage points if you guys have the opportunity to do so. All right, so let's get started. And the first one is going to be Wildberry, Brute, Content, Eclair, Vampire, Captain Caviar, as well as Cream Unicorn. So I believe right now the only one who is not available inside of the mileage shop is going to be the Brute. However, we do have Brute inside of the gacha system right now, so you guys should definitely be rolling for him if you guys have enough crystals. But these cookies are going to be all epics, which means that they are going to be available in the mileage shop, and these cookies are definitely going to be helping you guys out throughout the entire world exploration. So starting off with Brute and Wildberry, the best tanks that you guys can probably use right now inside of the world exploration alongside someone like Darker Cow. But however, Darker Cow is going to be an ancient, so I did place him below, which is going to be the SS tier, where all of the cookies that are going to be super good for world exploration is going to be stated. However, these are going to be right here. The first to get are the ones that I do recommend you guys to try to get first because they are available through the mileage shop. So Wildberry increases the damage resist of all your cookies by 15%. We do have Brute, who's going to increase the attack by 15% for all of your cookies. And on top of that, we have Content, who is still going to be one of the best, if not the best, support in the back for your world exploration, summoning sheep, stunning the enemies, preventing injury stacks from happening, and healing as well. All right, and then on top of that, of course, Eclair, 25% weakness debuff to the enemies that stacks all the way up to 100%, allowing your output damage to increase by double, as well as providing shield if you do defeat the enemy earlier. And then of course, Vampire right now, one of the best boss killers that we have going on, especially with the magic candy. If he is able to come back alive as well with plus 10, then he is absolutely amazing to destroy bosses. Captain Caviar is another one that's going to be really good for you guys, especially in the early games where the shields are not a problem, where you guys can just literally burst the enemies down. And on top of that, against bosses, 42% defense reduction, guys. Stack that with something like the Slingshot as well as the Eclair's weakness debuff, and you use Vampire, boom, the bosses are gone. All right, and on top of that, Cream Unicorn is going to be one of the better healers right now for you guys to use. That is also available in the mileage shop. So I don't say it too much to buy cookies from the mileage shop, but if you guys do not have these cookies inside of your list right now that are available, then make sure to go and buy them. All right, and then next, moving on to the SS tier, are going to be Black Pearl, BTS. We got Dark Cacao, Pure Vanilla, Oyster, Espresso with the Magic Candy. We got Squid Ink with the Magic Candy. We have Sea Fairy, Sorbet, Clotted Cream, Pumpkin Pie, Purple Yam with the Magic Candy, Herb, Pomegranate, our latest epic Macaron, as well as Parfait. Alright, so all of these cookies are going to be super good within the world exploration. They can be used within a lot of the different teams. So within the list, we have DPSs like Black Pearl, we got Espresso with the Magic Candy, we have Squid Ink, Sea Fairy, Sorbet, as well as Clotted Cream, who are going to be amazing DPSs. And then of course, we have Pumpkin Pie, who is going to be a summoner, who is allowing you to deal a lot of damage on the side as well as tank for your team. And also, if you guys have any stages where the enemies heal, then Pompon does provide 70% healing debuff. Alright, on top of that, we do have some tanks here, Dark Cacao as well as Purple Yam. Amazing tanks for the world exploration, especially Dark Cacao because he does have the injury as well as various debuffs. Purple Yam is a very good tank as well if you guys have the Magic Candy because of the amount of self-sustain that he is able to have. BTS is probably one of the better ones to use within World Exploration episode 14, but not going to be recommended as much for the other stages because you can't really utilize the shield because there's not a lot of debuffs. Alright, however, for episode 13 and 14, especially 14, BTS is going to be amazing. Pure Vanilla, Herb are going to be two of the better healers as well, on top of Cream Unicorn. Pure Vanilla is here because of the fact that he is an ancient and is harder to get. He still is going to provide a ton of healing as well as the shield, which is going to be helpful for a lot of the different stages. Herb, a good constant healer, does provide that purifying if you need anything like the stun removed and things like that. As well as Pomegranate, Macaron, as well as Parfait are going to be great supports, especially Macaron right now because of the fact that you do get to increase the attack as well as crit percentage of your cookies by 23%. On top of that, heal and deal extra damage to non-cookie enemies. So Macaron is going to be an amazing one. More of a supported magic cookie, right? And then of course the Pomegranate and Parfait for debuff resist and the attack buff. Now moving on to the S tier are going to be Financier, Werewolf Cookie with the Magic Candy, Caramel Arrow, Crunchy Chip, as well as Rye and Dark Choco. So these cookies are going to be good, but not super recommended for the World Exploration compared to something like the SS tier. Dark Choco, of course, is going to be amazing for bosses, but you can actually get away with it nowadays with Captain Caviar, Vampire, and Eclair with the Slingshot. But if you still need the extra defense reduction, then use Dark Choco. Rye is a good single hit damage dealer as well, and with the attack speed on top of that with the Magic Candy. However, it is not going to be a super recommended cookie to use by herself just because she does target only one enemy. And then Crunchy Chip as well as Caramel Arrow, they're still good. They can be used within certain teams like Crunchy Chip against like 14-30 or any of the bosses. However, within other stages, Crunchy Chip does tend to die off a little bit earlier because he does always dash forward and tank all of the damage, and he does not have a super high HP pool compared to someone like, you know, Dark Cacao, Brute, and Wildberry. So I do recommend you guys to use him situationally within some of the comps as well as something like you know, bosses. All right, Caramel Arrow, again, very good. However, she is going to be in the front, so if she's not in her arrow form, which is her skill, then she does tend to take a lot of damage, which means that you do want to use full solid almond if possible. So I do recommend you guys to use something else other than Caramel Arrow if possible for your team for World Exploration. Financier, very supportive and can heal, shield, and things like that, but you do miss out on a lot of damage compared to someone like Wildberry, Brute, and Dark Cacao. Werewolf as well, a still good tank with the Magic Candy, especially now with the injury available. However, that is not going to be like super good within the World Exploration because it is very slow at stacking the injury, which is only like 1.2%. And then now moving on to the A tier are going to be a bunch of the cookies that kind of got squished into one tier, guys, and that is going to be Cherry Blossom, Hollaberry, Milk Cookie with the Magic Candy, Strawberry Crepe, we got Cocoa, we got Affogato, Sparkling, Kumio, Black Raisin, Latte, Licorice. We do have Tiger Lily, Mango, Frost Queen, Twizzly Gummy, as well as Cream Puff. So these cookies are great. All right, they're okay to use inside of the World Exploration. Something like, you know, the tanks with Hollaberry, Milk Cookie with the Magic Candy, and Strawberry Crepe, and Cocoa, honestly, they can be used, but they're better off being replaced by a lot of the SS tier as well as the first to get, because they don't provide as much tankiness as well as buff as the others do. All right, so Strawberry Crepe, yes, 50% damage resist to the two of the squishiest or the two of the lowest HP cookies. However, it does not provide that damage resist buff to themselves. As well as Milk, Taunt is great and the healing is okay, but after that it's pretty much useless. And you know, he does tend to take a ton of damage sometimes and still gets himself killed. Hollaberry, great, you know, but as an ancient, it's not really worth leveling her up right now, especially compared to someone like Wildberry. And the damage dealers like Cherry Blossom as well as Affogato, Black Raisin, Latte, Licorice, Frost Queen, Mango, Twizzly Gummy, they're all okay. All right, especially Cherry Blossom, she's pretty good. However, she does get outshined now by Macaron, so it's not really worth leveling her up, especially just for the World Exploration. If you're aiming for the Avatar of Destiny, then go for it. But Macaron is going to be the better replacement. And in the other ones, they do decent damage, but they're going to be outshined by a lot of the DPSs that we have up top. And then Sparkling, you know, Tiger Lily, as well as Cream Puff and Kumio, they're situational. They can be used. Cream Puff, you know, she does have the burst damage and the heal, but does need to go and focus on the crit. And then, you know, like someone like Kumio, okay, but not as great anymore. And Tiger Lily, very situational as well. And then moving on to BTR, going to be Candy Diver. We have Almond, Red Velvet, Mint Choco, Tea Night. We do have Moon Rabbit, Mollasauce, Madeline, as well as Poison Mushroom. So these cookies are going to be okay to use, very situational, especially like Almond, Red Velvet, as well as Mint Choco. However, the rest of them, you know, it's just not really recommended for you guys to level up right now, especially for the World Exploration. All right, and then moving on to C tier are going to be our Raspberry, Pastry, as well as Snow Sugar. Not really recommended to use within the World Exploration. They are going to be very lacking. Okay, and then last one is gonna be don't use once again, and that's gonna be Lilac actually, and then Chili Pepper, Sonic, Tails, as well as Fig. The reason why I put Lilac here is because Lilac actually needs to utilize attack speed, but right now with a lot of the attack speed focused cookies being in the lower ranks, Lilac pretty much becomes useless inside of your team, so recommended not to use for your World Exploration team. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for the World Exploration tier list. I'll be making a separate guide and trying to teach you guys once again how to build a proper team, because I've been on a lot of accounts and still I see players focusing on incorrect team formations as well as cookies to use, and a lot of the landmarks and things like that are still not being built. So I will try to focus on it again in order to help you guys out through those videos. Anyways guys, I hope you guys found it helpful. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like to change anything once again, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all on the next one.